Is that where you grow your team?
Yes, absolutely. You have to. I wouldn't be able to do it unless I had trustworthy people to
Right.
send up there, because I can't be even two places at once, let alone three or four or five. So that's the girls you interview. That's the next
Right.
generation of.
So the fact that you can trust them, because you don't say, "Hey, I want to own 4 farms." No, it's I got a great team,
I'm
so
able
I
to do it
can.
because of them. Yes.
Have you is do you have a way of handling your employees that maybe you didn't like being I don't know what's the word, but I've worked for employees that were dog shit
Mm-hmm.
and ones that were great. And I said, all right, I never want to do that as an employer, or I really liked what he's doing. Is there schedule changes? Is there what's something that Diamond Creek's going to change? Because horse racing is apparently this 7 day a week, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But does it have to be for the employees?
No. And nobody's gonna love it like I do. I mean, I realize that there's very few people that are
Mm-hmm.
obsessed about it. I mean, I live, eat, and breathe it. I get up in the middle of the night and
Dream
watch.
about foals and
I don't know about all that kind of
all
stuff.
your
But
all
yeah,
your stallions and
no, but I look at results and I watch replays. I mean, it is who I am and has been for a long time. And I realize that's not everybody else. And so you have to manage people differently. Some people are going to be like a little bit like that, and other people want a life.
mm-hmm.
And so allowing people to have days off is clearly important. It keeps them around.
New York farm, Ohio farm, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What 3-4 years? Have you already signed the bill? What
No,
or
no,
no?
no. I would say by 2020 or 2021, we have a New York place.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be long after that
Does it
before.
matter where in New York?
Well, I want to be somewhat near where the breeders are. I think that's important because New York's different in that the mares have to be in state.
I mean, there's 4 different areas in New York. You could be in Buffalo, you could be in New York City, you could be up way up in, by Canada
BFE.
or
Yeah.
right in the middle of the
Yeah, I
state.
would probably be in the middle of the state somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice farm area,
Yeah,
nice
exactly.
nice.
We're blue chips in the middle of the state. They're in a great spot. I
Yep.
mean, something like that, right? If you're going to beat the best, you better be near the best, right?
Just park right next door
Exactly.
and just wave to Tom every morning.
Exactly. I love
Hey
Tom
Tom,
too, but
hey Tom. Oh, we're doing this better over here, bro.
exactly. Tom would welcome the challenge, which would be great. So
is that something? Do breeders? Do you guys have to work together?
yeah, because the business is so small and insulated.
Right. Like what happens if?
But at the same time, like everybody wants to be the best. I
Sure.
don't care who they are. If you don't, you shouldn't be in the sport that competes.
How are you going to measure the best? Is it by money or is it by records? Is it by number of foals under 148 or trotter 152? How are you going to measure your success?
Number of mares bred and continued over time, right? I mean, people aren't going to breed to your stallion unless they're producing winners,
Okay.
right? So full bucks.
Okay, so you're saying number of mares bred to your stallion,
Mm-hmm.
not bred meaning I have 80 mares.
Right. I'm
Okay,
talking
right.
like if we have 7 stallions and I have 7 stallions with full books, think I'm pretty darn successful.
Okay. Question for you about the books. Some, I don't know what the number. Some limit to 50. Some limit to 150. Some are
Nobody can breed over 140 in the States.
140.
In Canada, there's unlimited number.
Okay. But some of the top ones are restricted, right? To maybe even less, a lot less than that, right?
Very few. There would have to be a reason.
So you just
fertility-wise.
140,
Mm-hmm.
right that's what you aim for with every stallion?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Until you go to Canada.
Yeah.
So is Canada a deal?
Canada is a deal.
Is Canada something that you're gonna think about?
Yeah. New York, Ohio, Canada.
What about
Jersey,
like
if they
Europe?
ever get their shit figured out. We send frozen semen over there.
Okay.
For a handful of our stallions.
So there's no restrictions.
No, and then we send 5 down under to New Zealand and Australia where
Okay.
they can breed unlimited numbers. So like Sweet Lou this year is going to breed over 400 mares down under. So,
Boy was doing some work.
Exactly. Rock and Roll Dance bred 430 last year. He'll breed 200 plus this year.
Okay, so you're everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Any place you're not.
Probably not anywhere in Africa right
Maybe
now.
Some of the smaller jurisdictions.
Exactly.
So you're just, those numbers 200, 300, 400. That's what you're going to measure your success on.
Yeah, and then over time, right? I mean, they're not going to come back and breed if you're not producing winners.
Right.
So they got to keep producing winners.
Is it better to like if you got a stallion that's going for 12 years? That's probably
Yes.
what you're gonna
Yes.
measure,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Do you care about fastest stallion or fastest record or most money earned or most Breeders' Crown?
Well, I'd love to breed the most Breeders' Crown, but it'd be pretty tough to beat Hanover since they got 500 mares or
That's
450 mares.
that's true.
So, yeah.
That's true. Give me
But
one.
we're the only breeder ever to win 3 Breeders' Crowns in 1 year.
What do you mean?
We bred 3 winners of the Breeders' Crown in 20.
Just straight homebred, like from you guys
Yeah,
in the same year.
Yeah.
3 out of the 12.
3 out of 12.
Give them. Come on.
Creatine, Divine Caroline, Pure Country.
Okay. So was that when she was 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Creatine won was that the year he won with Johnny
Mm-hmm.
Tactor?
Yeah.
And then Divine Caroline was David
3.
Miller, right?
Yeah, for Joe Holloway.
I know a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
I know
Look
a
at
little
you
bit.
do.
Look at it.
Eleventh race field is set for a start. They're off and trotting. First to fire from the outside, Creatine blasts his way to the front for Tactor. Second away at the inside as they move in front of us for the first time. There is Resolve. Crossed over to get a seat. Third is Goral Hanover. Be a Magician backpedals into the 4-hole. Fifth away from the fence came Flanagan Memory. Crossed over from in sixth goes Intimidate. And Master of Law will trail the field in seventh as they go to the first turn. So on the lead for Tactor, it's Creatine. In the pocket spot, Resolve from in second. Kakalele's just off the speed with Goral Hanover third. Be a Magician a patient fourth through 27 and 2, opening quarter speed. Back to the inside from in fifth now as they cross the tunnel and head towards the backstretch. Flanagan Memory, then Intimidate from in fifth and Master of Law sixth. Now they straighten up towards the half-mile point and chase the front-stepping Creatine. Creatine up front by 3 lengths. Resolve is second. Third towards the inside continues Goral Hanover. Be a Magician is allowed to gap early from in fourth. She's about 2 lengths off the foe in front of her, a good 6 lengths off the lead at the midway point, and they're there in just 56 and 4. That half favors Creatine, who takes the field towards the far turn. Resolve is second. Goral Hanover continues in third. Be a Magician from in fourth awaits her cue from Sears. Then it's back 50 inside to a chased along Flanagan Memory. Intimidate is sixth. He's a good 10 lengths off the lead. And there goes Be a Magician brought to the outside now. She's first over into attack mode for Sears with 3/8 to go. Still there on the lead is Creatine. Resolve is second. Be a Magician is third. Off stride sitting fifth went Flanagan Memory. Also off stride Master of Law in the backfield. 3/4 and 125 and 1. And they spin for home at Woodbine. And still there, Creatine. He'll try and go down the road for Tactor. Creatine is still there now as the blinds are pulled down on Creatine, and he fronts the field by 2 lengths. Second on the outside with late speed comes Resolve. Back into third, Goral Hanover. Be a Magician, not tonight. It's still Creatine there by 2 lengths, and Creatine wins pillar to post. Creatine in front over Resolve, Goral Hanover, and Be a Magician in 152 and 4.
That was actually my first Breeders' Crown.
Woodbine.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the rain.
Yeah, in the
It
rain.
was awesome.
That's why I remember it.
I'll tell you what, there wasn't a better day than that. We owned Pure Country and Creatine, and so we won 2 ourselves, bred 3 winners. I mean,
There was a lot of champagne popping, right?
exactly. Yeah. I dropped my parents off at the airport to fly home, and they had 2 great big suitcases, and I told the guy behind the counter, I said, "Careful, this is all Coke."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Yeah, you probably shouldn't say that."
No,
at the
no,
airport."
no,
I was
no.
like, "Yeah, well."
No. Celebrations. Last thing. Is part of getting to the next level? Is that part of knowing when to celebrate, knowing you can do better, and just expanding? Like you gotta have a little ego and a little bit of swagger to become the best. Because if you're
Oh, I'm cocky. There's no
Right.
question. Yeah. And I'm
'cause
okay with that.
some guys they finish
Right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the best.
They finish second, right? Yeah. No, and that's a real thing. If you finish second, you're like, oh golly, I finished
No,
second.
I'm fucking pissed.
No, you're pissed, right?
Exactly.
So is there
I'm the worst loser that there is.
is there a sort of a prison? Because I feel the same way too. When I lose, you're kind of sucked into this kind of prison
I
where
get depressed.
yeah.
I go stomping around the house. My wife's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "I was second." She's like, "Oh, how much money did you make?"
Right.
I stop, whatever. And she goes, "That's pretty good." I'm like, "Yeah,
No,
not as good as
enough.
first."
Not good enough.
Exactly.
So was that night at Woodbine one of those nights where you could be like, yes, we got it, we're good, we did it?
Yeah. That was almost as good as it gets.
Almost. What's as good as it gets?
4.
4, right? And then
Exactly,
5, and
exactly.
then 5 plus the Hamiltonian, and then 5 plus the Hamiltonian,
Exactly.
right? Plus the
Right,
pre-Demery.
exactly.
So
Everything.
you got to keep building.
I'm never going to be satisfied.
You're never going to be happy.
Yeah.
But that's
I'll
why
enjoy it along the way, but I'll never be totally satisfied.
All right, perfect, man. So Adam Bowden, CEO, president. What else? What are your titles? Breeder,
Yeah,
farrier,
exactly. Whatever you want to call me.
whatever hat you want to wear. And
Sometimes it's jackass. But
sometimes
yeah.
it's jackass. And hopefully we got a good sale. We're gonna keep bugging you all
good.
over the next couple of days, and we'll do a recap show, and maybe that's out before this, but we'll be seeing lots of you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man.